Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a vending machine is saving lives in Pulaski County as officials want folks to have Narcan readily available. And the penny problem is causing a stir with people from all places chiming in with their 2 cents.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and a happy Thursday to you. My name is Amelia Lee here with you on this February 13th. The time is now 6:30 and we are excited to get our day started with you. It's also time to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at that forecast this morning. Megan, we talked about rain, we have talked about fog, and now we are going to talk about what drivers can expect as they hit the roads today.
Well, the good news is we had that high humidity, which is why we had a lot of that fog. But as that rain has been moving out of our area this morning, we've been decreasing that humidity and decreasing that fog. So it's not as dense this morning, still a little bit hazy as we're traveling to certain portions of our area. Just make sure if you are driving in areas that do have denser fog that you are driving slowly and have your low beams turned on. Now we'll look at that live pinpoint Doppler radar watching as the remainder of the rain moves through our area. And it'll be clear out of our way as we're heading into that 8 o'clock hour this morning. So the rest of your day, nice and partly cloudy, and those temperatures, well, they will be dropping as we're going through the next couple of hours. These are the temperatures that you will be seeing that are the warmest from now on. I know this morning we had some cities in the mid-50s. Now we're looking at the warmest temperatures in the low 50s, 52 for Harlan, and the coldest in our region looking at 37 for Moorhead and Irvin. Now, next 12 hours, here's how it'll play out. We'll see the temperatures dropping, seeing a little bit of that sun right as the sun is about to set. Amelia?
All right, thank you, Megan. Well, a vending machine in Pulaski County could contain materials that might save you or a loved one's life. Narcan is available to every citizen in the Pulaski County area for free. A free Narcan vending machine is located outside of the Pulaski County Detention Center. With high rates of opioid overdose, mortality rates in the state of Kentucky, folks in Somerset are taking action to save lives and encourage recovery.
If you're dead, they can't recover. And I think everybody has a chance at recovery.
Their motto is Narcan in every hand. They encourage education on Narcan so that you too can save a life. The machines are funded by CORE, or the Kentucky Overdose Response Effort. Lawmakers and advocates gathered in Frankfort yesterday to push for gun safety in the Commonwealth. The rally was for Every Town for Gun Safety's annual Advocacy Day. Speakers in attendance asked lawmakers to pass gun violence prevention measures. One speaker was Vanessa Smothers, whose mother was killed from an act of gun violence in 2020.
My mother's murderers have not been apprehended. My mother's senseless murders have left a profound impact of sadness, disbelief, loneliness, anger, and frustration.
In previous years, advocates have asked lawmakers to pass the Crisis Aversion Rights Retention Order, or CAR Act. It would temporarily remove firearms from gun owners if they're experiencing a mental health crisis. The bill stalled in last year's legislative session. A controversial bill introduced in Frankfort would exclude junk foods from SNAP benefits. Representative Matt Lockett from Nicholasville filed House Bill 279. He says the SNAP program contributes to the country's obesity and diabetics epidemic. The Kentucky Center for Economic Policy reports nearly 13% of people were enrolled in SNAP benefits in November 2024. In some rural counties like Owsley, as much as about 1/3 of the population was enrolled.
We've also seen long-term health impacts of SNAP program and no research that it increases obesity or other chronic diseases participating in the program.
A similar bill was proposed in Washington. Representative Lockett says House Bill 279 is a part of a multi-level approach at bettering individual health both on and off SNAP. Earlier this week, President Donald Trump told the Treasury Secretary to discontinue making new pennies. I was able to find some local reaction from folks in Eastern Kentucky on the penny problem. Does making sense still make sense?
Well, I just have never even imagined a world without them. Simple as that sounds.
Folks in downtown Hazard have similar reactions to the 1-cent coin.
Ooh, pennies. Boy, pennies make dollars.
The conversations surrounding pennies became a popular topic while in line for coffee.
We use pennies every day, coming and going. We ain't one-sided with it. We'll send them out as much as we take them.
With one bright side to potentially not seeing them around.
It would be easier to count the drawer. That's the only bright side I could find to that. So, yeah.
Susan Brotherton owns Pantry Shelf. She prices her products to the penny.
Like our glazed donuts are 94 cents, so a person can buy one if they have $1.
Corey Shockey gave her 2 cents.
For people out here that don't have no money and they come in here and they spend their change, they do count their pennies. So pennies do matter to some people.
And many folks go by the popular saying, if you find a penny, pick it up, and all day long you'll have good luck.
If it's on heads, I'll pick it up. If not, I'll leave it there.
I'll pick them up forever.
If the pennies are no longer printed, folks say they will continue to use the popular Abraham Lincoln coin. In Perry County, Amelia Lee, WYMT, Mountain News. It costs nearly 4 cents to print out a 1-cent coin. Some economists are struggling to see how the elimination of the coin would impact consumers. Since President Trump's plans were announced, some like UPike's Dr. Gregory Green say a change in penny production would likely have little impact. He said even those who are pinching pennies would likely not feel a true hit when it comes to their day-to-day lives. And much of the change would likely be on the business owners.
I have to say I'd struggle to find the downside, especially if every electronic payment is still being tracked out as 100 pennies and $1. Probably going to be a minimum impact. And who's it going to impact? Well, look, there is a cash economy, but I'm not necessarily sure that, like I said earlier, the penny is going to make much of a difference one way or the other.
Dr. Green said those in opposition of the penny pause could also argue that the cost of printing bills more than makes up for the deficit of minting the coins. But he does not believe it is a change that would be an imposition. Shaping Our Appalachian Region hosted a speaker series yesterday focused on entrepreneurship, innovation, and inspiration. WYMT's Buddy Forbes was there as students at the University of Pikeville heard from business leaders in the area.
Right now, little things you start turn into big things 10 years from now. So just start something.
Speakers at the SOAR Innovation Series say shaping our Appalachian region begins with starting something.
Sharing stories of what's possible in rural places and what it takes to start new companies and think about not just small business, but larger scale business in a rural place.
Students from the University of Pikeville's Coleman College of Business heard from a panel of entrepreneurs Wednesday.
Every time something happens that would traditionally get in the way, it's just like, okay, how else do we do it?
Focused on educating and supporting the next generation of innovators.
Seeing students get excited and dream a little bit about what's possible. So, inspiration is a big part of this, and then we try to do the equipping in classrooms and training them, teaching. Like, we believe you can learn to be an entrepreneur.
Speakers shared their experience in a host of different areas, from agriculture to YouTube to tech.
I love this place, and my work is about creating opportunity here.
Discussing the benefits of planting their platforms in the region.
I hope that the biggest thing that they take away is they can have a global impact without leaving the mountains.
Sharing the struggles and successes that brought them where they are today.
Good thing, bad thing, who knows? I think about that year.
It's super important that we are celebrating the successes that are coming out of our region and getting the students exposure to what is possible.
Encouraging students to help the region grow by investing and inventing where they are rooted.
This is my idea.
There is a path forward to create your own future, to create a new company, to do things here.
In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
SOAR representatives say the event was made possible through an Appalachian Regional Commission Power Grant and SOAR's many partnerships. Well, warm weather hotspots are preparing for crowds of spring breakers. But this year, one of the most famous winter destinations is telling partiers to stay away. Miami Beach announced a series of measures to stop the violence that has broken out there in the past. They include DUI and security checkpoints, license plate readers, $100 parking for some public lots, and a possible midnight curfew during some busy nights in February and March.
Miami Beach is a city of fun. We have great beaches, we have great hotels, we have great restaurants. We want you to have fun, but you got to play by the rules.
Miami Beach police say last year similar measures were implemented for the first time, and it led to a drastic 82% drop in disorderly intoxication arrests and a 21% drop in drug offenses.
Now, we are not talking about spring break weather right now. We are still warm, though, considering most of our area is in the 40s, but we do see some 50s popping out this morning. 52 in Harlan, 50 for Middlesboro and Jonesville. Now, as we go through the rest of the day, we'll see those temperatures continuing to drop, so it won't be this warm all day long, but at least it's not too bad as you're heading out the door this morning. The good news is you won't need that raincoat as you're heading into the afternoon. Maybe this morning, though, as we do have just a little bit of rain still moving through our area. It will clear out by that 8 o'clock hour. Then for the rest of the day, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Not too bad for your Thursday. Heading off to the bus stop, though, here's what you need to know. We're looking in the low 40s by the time you're heading to school, with some places having that slight chance of seeing some rain. But by the time you're heading home, a little bit cooler, looking in the upper 30s with cloudy skies. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning at 6:40. Still to come. Are you planning on buying a sweet treat this Valentine's Day? Well, this time around, costly chocolate might be too much for your loved ones.